Elimination Chamber.
Oh, God. This fucking match. Dude. May I?
I think you should.
It's Miz and Morrison, the Usos. Miz and Morrison, the champions. The Usos, the New Day, Heavy Machinery, and the Lucha House Party.
And Ziggler and Rude.
Yeah, whatever. So anyway, let's talk about the big problem here. Okay? So, there's like one good storyline going on in this company right now. And actually there's two. There's anything involving Randy Orton, which is actually, honestly, that's the best storyline in the company. But number two, who by the way wasn't even on this show. No Randy Orton anywhere to be found. He's the hottest guy in the company right now. And the other great storyline involves Ziggler and Otis. Okay? So, that's all anybody cares about on SmackDown. They don't care about anything else. They cheer for the Firefly Funhouse, but the storyline carrying SmackDown right now is Otis and Dolph Ziggler. Okay? On Friday Night SmackDown, they did an elimination match. And it was all of these same teams. They basically did Elimination Chamber without a cage. It was a gauntlet match. And so the first team is Otis and Tucker. And basically for 40 minutes, Otis and Tucker run through every team on the roster. And the fans, they just love Otis.
Of course they do.
They want him to win so badly. And they go all the way. They even beat the tag team champions. They beat Miz and Morrison. And finally, of course, the last team in is Ziggler and Rude. And Ziggler is fleeing from Otis. Otis wants to get his hands on this guy. They do all these spots. And then finally, there's a schmoz. Ziggler hits the big super kick, and he pins Otis. And they win. That means they're the last team in the chamber. So I watched it, and I thought, this is easy. All right? It's easy. Either it comes down to Heavy Machinery and Ziggler and Rude, and Otis pins Ziggler and they win the tag team titles. Or Ziggler and Rude win and Otis and Tucker win the tag team titles at WrestleMania. Now, of the two choices, if it's me, I would have had Otis and Tucker win this match because I don't trust going 3 more weeks without Vince changing his mind. Get the goddamn belts on this guy quick. Those are the only 2 things you can fucking do. Do you understand what I'm saying? Those are the only 2 things that you can do here. It's the only 2 things anybody cares about in this company. Randy Orton or Ziggler and Otis. They do not care about Miz and Morrison. They do not care about the fucking Usos. They don't care about the New Day. They don't care about the Lucha House Party. They don't care about any of these people. Not to mention, we've seen the Usos win the titles 15 times. We have seen the New Day win the titles 15 times. Miz and Morrison, someone's going to go, well, they just won them. You can't take the belts off them. Well, I just fucking saw them take the belt off Braun Strowman. He just won that fucking belt. The fact of the matter is, you can take the belts off them if the other story is better. You know what's better than Miz and Morrison reuniting and finally winning the titles that nobody cares about? Ziggler and Otis. So, we start this match, and you'll never guess what teams start. God bless them, it's the New Day and the Usos. I've seen them wrestle 1 billion times. They wrestle, and I wrote 1 sentence about this first 5-minute segment, and that was Kofi with a rare slip on the ropes.
Here's what I wrote about the first 5 minutes of this match. Highlight of the first segment is Miz and Morrison trying to call spots from inside the pod. Literally nothing is happening when clock expires.
Dead segment. Then it's the Lucha House Party. And I will give them this. This was probably their biggest match ever. And they were trying their asses off.
They certainly tried.
They were unfortunately also failing their asses off.
They certainly failed.
dude, one mistimed spot after another. They're botching this. They're slipping on the ropes here. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? There were a couple of really cool spots. I mean, later in the match, Metalik did a diving Hurricane Rana off the pod on an Uso that was standing on the top rope. That was awesome. There was a big botch by Lindsay where he slipped and actually fell into a tree of woe on the side of the cage and managed to do a sit-up and get on top of the pod in like 5 seconds.
How?
That was an impressive save of a horrible botch.
How he did not break both his ankles, I do not know.
But it was a botch. So then Miz and Morrison get in the ring. That's when Metalik does the diving Hurricane Run. And here's the key. It's now been 15 minutes. The crowd has been absolutely dead.
Yeah.
We finally get one diving Hurricane Rana, and the crowd chants, "This is awesome!" And then they die again.
I had such heat with this crowd.
Well, dude, don't ever have heat with the crowd. All they want is a good fucking match, and they weren't getting it. They finally got a spot, and they're so thankful.
If they said that was awesome...
They should have said that was awesome.
That would be correct. This is awesome. No, it is not.
So finally, Heavy Machinery gets in the ring, and fucking, you'll never fucking guess, all of a sudden, the fans are into the match. They're chanting Otis's name. They're into Otis running wild and doing all of his craziness. Now, keep in mind, they're into Otis even though the whole sky is falling around him. So, Lindsay Dorado climbs on top of a pod. And I presume he was supposed to dive onto Otis because Otis goes out onto the ramp like he's waiting for a tag, but there are no tags. Mm-hmm. And you see him and he keeps looking up at the pod. He's looking up, waiting.
Not only that, Otis and Tucker kept shouting, "Lindsay!"
Yes. So they're looking around for this fucking guy, and all of a sudden, Otis just gets back in the ring. He starts doing moves. He's given up.
Yeah.
And they zoom out, and Lindsay's gone. He vanished from the pod. I'm like, where in the fuck did this guy go? Like, did he fall out of the pod or something like that, and there's like a medical emergency outside? Because they don't shoot anything. He's just vanished. Like, where the fuck is this guy? So next thing you know, everybody is down in the middle of the pod, and Lindsay does what can only be described as, in gymnastics, a high bar flyaway.
Sure.
Onto all of the guys. Mm-hmm. And somehow he missed them all, but they all fell down, and nobody died. So everybody's down, and Lindsay hits this spectacular move.
Now the place is legit going crazy.
He knocks everybody down, and Heavy Machinery immediately pins his partner.
He is eliminated.
So they're out of there.
Just
Jesus
masterfully deflating the room. Taking the air out of the room, pulling the rug out from under the fans. Insert your cliche here.
But they're still into Otis. And Otis is waiting for Rude and Ziggler's pod to open. The pod finally opens. Heavy Machinery goes after them. But the heels hold the door shut so Otis can't get his hands on Ziggler. And the other heels sneak up and they whack him. And there's 4 heels beating on Otis and Tucker. So they're teasing us. They know we want to see it, but they're not going to deliver it. So finally, Otis eventually starts making this comeback. They're chanting his name. And Otis takes this run to wipe out Ziggler. Ziggler moves. Otis goes through the pod and the side of the cage, which I guess there wasn't even a side of the cage there. That was weird. And he crashes on the ground. He's dead. So now Tucker's alone. And just like on SmackDown, when Tucker had to go it alone for a while, and the fans are cheering him on, the fans are cheering on Tucker. Go, Tucker, go! Tucker gets double teamed, and he's pinned. Heavy Machinery is eliminated. The fans are fucking furious. And I forget what they're chanting asshole. They chant asshole because Rude and Ziggler eliminated Otis. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, fine, okay? You eliminated Otis, but you know what? You actually did get a lot of heat. These fans are pissed off at Ziggler and Rude. They win. They got to go on and win and get those tag titles so they can defend them against Otis at WrestleMania. I'm fucking typing this shit out. How easy this is. And these fucking Usos come off the cage and they pin Rude and Ziggler.
Yes.
They ended the only story that anybody cared about with, like, plenty of time left in this
Heavy Machinery finished 5th in this match. Dolph and Rude finished 4th.
Okay, so they're gone, and you'll never guess what happened. The crowd died. I'm talking deathly silence. And they do the rest of the match. I lost interest. There was a bunch of... Fucking Kofi and one of the Usos botched a super kick spot.
Yes.
How the fuck... In how many years have I done this? I never once botched a super kick spot. How do you botch a super kick? How? Apparently, someone called a super kick, but since everybody does fucking super kicks, they both threw a super kick, they scissored each other, fell down. Kofi missed a dive. He's pinned.
Kofi got pinned after missing the 8th or 9th jump off a pod in this match.
Yeah, he's on the top rope, and he looks up, waiting for the pop. Deathly silence. Because, yes, we've seen 25 fucking guys jump off a pod so far in this match, including a guy doing a diving hurricane run off a fucking pod. So, no, we don't give a shit about another guy going on a pod. He does a splash, he misses, he gets pinned, they're gone. Now it's down to Miz and Morrison versus the Usos. Nobody cares. There's like one super kick that people pop for, and then Miz and Morrison finally get a, like, I don't know what the rules were here, but like everybody's doing double pins on one guy, and the ref's just counting like who gives a shit.
The tag team champions retain their titles with a double team cradle in the ropes.
Yes, the ref counted the pin.
Yeah.
And so Miz and Morrison retain the titles. A team that like nobody cares about right now.
With no challengers anyone cares about.
No challengers. They beat everybody in the cell. Yeah. And away we go. What I wrote was, this was a WWE Tag Team Chamber match if I ever saw one. And it was fucking by the numbers a WWE Tag Team Chamber match. Overkill on the dives. Overkill on the spots. Eliminate the only people that anybody cares about early. Come down to the people that people have been watching now for over a decade.
Yes.
And then Miz and Morrison win. Yeah. Did I miss anything?
I can only add that I thought there were like 5 good minutes in a 25-minute match.
Yeah.
And not 5 minutes in a row either, just scattered here and there.
I mean, dude, the wrestlers, the professional wrestlers in this match, they worked their asses off. But you know what? I watch a lot of wrestling every week. I see a lot of guys working their asses off. I need more than that. And the story of this match was horseshit. It fucking sucked.